Imagine this. You're peacefully enjoying your own property when a furious HOA Karen storms up, screaming that you're trespassing on her land. But here's the jaw-dropping twist. She's the one renting from you, and her entire neighborhood wouldn't exist without your lease. Buckle up for this epic tale of entitlement, deception, and sweet revenge that will leave you cheering. If you're hooked on these wild HOA nightmares and Karen meltdowns, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for more property drama gold, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this one. Let's dive in. In the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns stretched like green carpets under the watchful eyes of homeowners associations, lived a man named Alex Thompson. Alex was no ordinary resident. He was a shrewd investor who had inherited a vast tract of land from his grandfather decades ago. This land, sprawling across hundreds of acres, included rolling hills, a serene lake, and pockets of dense forest that bordered what had become one of the most upscale gated communities in the area. The Willow Creek Estates HOA had been leasing a significant portion of this land from Alex for over 20 years, allowing them to expand their neighborhood with parks, walking trails, and even a community clubhouse that overlooked the lake. The lease agreement was ironclad, renewed every 5 years, and it stipulated that Alex retained full rights to access and use certain reserved sections of the property for personal enjoyment, including hiking trails and fishing spots that predated the development. Most residents knew nothing of this arrangement. To them, the land was simply part of their exclusive enclave, paid for by their hefty HOA dues. Alex preferred it that way. He lived modestly in a cabin on the unleased portion of his land, away from the prying eyes of the neighborhood, content with his solitude and the steady income from the lease. But tranquility shattered one crisp autumn morning when Alex decided to take his usual hike along the boundary trail. The path wound through a wooded area that technically fell under the leased land, but was explicitly reserved for his use in the contract. Birds chirped overhead, leaves crunched underfoot, and the air carried the faint scent of pine. Alex carried a small backpack with water and a camera, hoping to capture some wildlife photos. As he rounded a bend, he spotted a group of women power walking in matching athletic wear, their conversations echoing through the trees. One of them, a sharp-featured woman in her 50s with perfectly coiffed blonde hair and a visor emblazoned with the HOA logo, stopped dead in her tracks upon seeing him. Her name was Karen Hargrove, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek Estates, known for her iron-fisted enforcement of rules ranging from mailbox colors to holiday decorations. Karen's eyes narrowed as she assessed Alex. His casual jeans, hiking boots, and unkempt beard screamed outsider to her. Without a word of greeting, she marched forward, her companions trailing behind like hesitant courtiers. The confrontation unfolded swiftly. Karen's voice rose in accusation, claiming the trail was private HOA property and that Alex had no right to be there. She waved her arms dramatically, insisting he was trespassing and threatening to call the authorities if he didn't leave immediately. Alex, taken aback but composed, attempted to explain his ownership and the lease terms, but Karen dismissed him with a scoff, labeling him a vagrant or worse. Her friends nodded in agreement, fueling her outrage as she pulled out her phone to document the intruder. The scene escalated as more residents, alerted by the commotion, gathered at the trailhead. Whispers spread like wildfire, rumors of a stranger invading their sacred space. Alex retreated that day, not wanting unnecessary drama, but the incident lingered in his mind like a splinter. Back at his cabin, he reviewed the lease documents, confirming his rights were unambiguous. The HOA paid him handsomely each quarter, yet this woman acted as if the land was hers by divine right. Over the next few days, Alex noticed subtle changes. New no trespassing signs appeared along the trail, clearly installed by the HOA without his permission. Emails from the HOA board arrived in his inbox, politely but firmly requesting he cease using the area to avoid conflicts with residents. Karen, it turned out, was the HOA president, and she had rallied the board against him, portraying Alex as a threat to their community's safety and exclusivity. Unbeknownst to her, Alex had been considering renegotiating the lease terms anyway, as property values had skyrocketed, and he could demand higher rates or even reclaim parts of the land for development. This pushback ignited a spark in him. He decided to dig deeper into Karen's background. A quick online search revealed she had moved to Willow Creek 5 years ago, quickly climbing the HOA ranks through aggressive campaigning and promises of stricter enforcement. Neighbors anonymously complained on local forums about her overreach, fining people for minor infractions like leaving garage doors open too long or planting unapproved flowers. Alex realized this wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a power play by someone who thrived on control. As weeks passed, tensions simmered. Alex continued his hikes, now documenting each one with photos and timestamps, building a case should things escalate legally. Karen, undeterred, organized patrols, volunteers in golf carts monitoring the borders, reporting any sightings of the mysterious hiker. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, Alex encountered Karen again, this time alone. She blocked the path, her face flushed with indignation, reiterating her claims that the land belonged to the HOA outright. Alex held his ground, calmly restating the facts, but the exchange left him frustrated. That night he pored over old maps and deeds, uncovering a forgotten clause in the original lease. If the HOA violated terms, such as restricting his access, he could terminate the agreement with 90 days' notice. The seed of revenge planted itself firmly. Meanwhile, in the heart of Willow Creek Estates, Karen basked in her perceived victory. She hosted board meetings in her lavish home, complete with marble countertops and a view of the very lake Alex owned. Discussions centered on expanding amenities, blissfully ignorant of the precarious foundation their community rested upon. Little did she know Alex was preparing to pull the rug out from under them. As winter approached, snow blanketed the trails, forcing a temporary truce. But Alex used the time to consult with his attorney, gathering evidence of the HOA's encroachments. The stage was set for a confrontation that would upend everything, leaving Karen's empire in ruins. The winter months in Willow Creek brought a deceptive calm, with snow-covered lawns glistening under holiday lights that Karen meticulously regulated. No inflatables allowed, only tasteful white strings. Alex, from his cabin vantage point, observed the neighborhood's festivities through binoculars, noting how the community thrived on the land he leased. The lease payments continued to arrive promptly, funding his quiet life, but the earlier incidents gnawed at him. He had decided not to renew the lease upon its expiration in 6 months, but first he wanted to expose the truth and watch Karen's facade crumble. Spring thawed the ground, and with it came renewed aggression from the HOA. Karen, emboldened by the lack of pushback during winter, installed fencing along parts of the trail, effectively barring Alex's access. This violation crossed a line. Alex photographed the barriers and sent a formal notice to the board, citing the lease terms and demanding removal within 30 days. The response was swift and dismissive. An email from Karen herself, though unsigned, asserting that the land improvements were for resident safety and that Alex's claims were outdated. Unfazed, Alex escalated by hiring a surveyor to remap the boundaries, confirming the encroachments. Word spread among residents. Anonymous posts on the neighborhood app questioned the board's actions, with some wondering who this landowner really was. Karen quashed dissent by deleting threads and issuing warnings about spreading misinformation. Behind the scenes, she rallied her allies, portraying Alex as a greedy outsider, trying to extort the community. Alex, meanwhile, delved into public records, discovering that Karen had a history of similar behaviors in previous neighborhoods, suing neighbors over fence disputes, harassing contractors, and even attempting to annex public land for personal use. Armed with this knowledge, he attended his first HOA meeting, held in the clubhouse that sat on his leased property. The room buzzed with anticipation as residents filed in, unaware of the bombshell about to drop. Alex sat quietly in the back, his presence noted but unrecognized by most. Karen presided from the front, gavel in hand, steering discussions toward budget approvals and rule updates. When the floor opened for public comments, Alex stood, introducing himself as the lessor of the land. Murmurs rippled through the crowd as he outlined the lease history. Presenting copies of documents for verification, Karen's face paled, but she quickly recovered, challenging his authenticity and calling for security to escort him out. Chaos ensued as residents demanded answers, some siding with Karen out of loyalty, others intrigued by the revelation. Alex left the meeting amid the uproar, but the damage was done. Seeds of doubt planted firmly. In the following weeks, factions formed within the community. A group of dissatisfied residents contacted Alex privately, sharing stories of Karen's tyranny, exorbitant fines for trivial matters, selective enforcement favoring her friends, and even embezzlement suspicions from HOA funds. Alex compiled these accounts, building a dossier that could dismantle the board. Karen, sensing the shift, doubled down, organizing a petition to buy the land outright. Though she lacked the funds or authority, she spread rumors that Alex planned to develop the area into commercial strips, destroying their idyllic lifestyle. Tensions peaked during a community picnic by the lake, where Alex appeared uninvited per his rights. Karen confronted him publicly, rallying supporters to chant for his departure. The scene turned heated as arguments erupted, with residents divided. Alex remained stoic, handing out flyers detailing the lease facts. That night, vandalism struck his cabin, eggs on windows, spray-painted warnings. But security cameras captured the culprits, teenagers egged on by Karen's rhetoric. Alex pressed charges discreetly, further eroding her support. As summer heated up, legal proceedings loomed. Alex's attorney filed a lawsuit for lease violations, seeking damages and early termination. The HOA scrambled, hiring their own lawyers, but audits revealed financial irregularities under Karen's watch. Funds misallocated to personal projects like her home's landscaping. Resignations followed as board members distanced themselves. Karen, isolated, lashed out in desperate emails accusing Alex of fraud. The community forum exploded with debates exposing years of grievances. Alex watched from afar, his plan unfolding perfectly. By midsummer, the HOA conceded to remove the fences and signs, but the trust was shattered. Residents began questioning the lease's value, some even moving out. Karen's reign teetered on the brink, her once unassailable position crumbling under the weight of truth. As the lease renewal deadline approached, Alex prepared his final move, ready to reclaim what was rightfully his and end the entitlement once and for all. Summer's warmth lingered in Willow Creek, but the air carried an undercurrent of unease as the lease expiration loomed. Alex had notified the HOA of his intent not to renew, citing repeated violations and the toxic environment fostered by its leadership. The board, now fractured without Karen's full control, though she clung to her presidency like a lifeline, pleaded for negotiations, offering higher rates and concessions. Alex entertained the meetings held in neutral territory, but his mind was set. He envisioned repurposing the land for eco-friendly developments, perhaps a nature preserve or affordable housing, anything to strip away the elitism that had poisoned the area. Karen, humiliated by the public exposures, resorted to underhanded tactics. Anonymous complaints flooded local authorities about Alex's cabin, code violations, environmental concerns, all traced back to her IP address through subpoenas. Investigations cleared Alex but spotlighted Karen's harassment, leading to a restraining order. Residents, weary of the drama, voted in an emergency election, ousting Karen from the board amid cheers from her detractors. She retreated to her home, blinds drawn, as moving trucks appeared in driveways of those fleeing the uncertainty. Alex, empowered, began reclaiming sections of the land, removing HOA-installed features and restoring natural habitats. The lake, once dotted with exclusive docks, now welcomed public access under his oversight. Former residents who had supported him formed a new association, seeking fair leases, but Alex prioritized healing the land over profit. In a final twist, audits uncovered Karen's embezzlement, thousands siphoned for personal luxuries, resulting in charges that stripped her of assets, including her home, which reverted to foreclosure. She moved away in disgrace, her screams of injustice echoing faintly as she left. Willow Creek transformed, no longer a bastion of entitlement but a community rebuilt on equity. Alex stood by the lake one evening, the sun setting in hues of orange, reflecting on the journey from a simple hike to reclaiming his legacy. Peace returned, the land thriving under rightful stewardship, a testament to standing against overreach. Thanks for sticking around for this insane HOA takedown. If you enjoyed the twists and turns, hit that like button, subscribe for more epic revenge stories, and drop a comment below with your own HOA horror tales. See you in the next one.